Hey YouTube, this is Leo here, coming at you with another reaction video. And today we're going to be reacting to Waffle House, the Roman Colosseum of the South by the Fat Electrician. I feel like I've seen some of his content before in the past. I genuinely don't remember right now at this time, but I'm going to be checking this out because it's something a friend of mine recently told me that I should react to his videos, and specifically the Waffle House one. And just a little bit of context, I have been to a Waffle House before. I am originally from somewhere in the South, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I've been to a Waffle House at 2, 3 in the morning before. I vouch for Waffle House personally. All right, like if you are out and about late at night, whether that be on a road trip or you just been out with the with the with the group, and there's nothing else open, you go to a Waffle House. All right. Are you, is it known for, maybe not being the safest place at that hour? Possibly, do fights break down in Waffle House? I guess. I've never experienced that personally. But yeah, let's just get right into the video. I'm curious to see what he has to say. So let's just get into it.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. I actually debated on which channel I was going to upload this video on, because on one hand, we're going over the business and the business model that it has, but on the other hand, this restaurant is basically the Roman Colosseum of the South, and I'm pretty sure if you eat there enough, you actually get a deployment patch from the U.S. military. Regardless, I wore my snazziest tank top for the occasion. Today we're talking about Waffle House. Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I was pretty sure I was not going to get caught off guard because Waffle House is already absolutely crazy. I started looking into it and then found out that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from World War II. So
I beg your finest pardon. All right, that's kind of interesting. All right, I'm curious to see how Waffle House of all places is has anything to do with the Manhattan Project. So, maybe it started in Los Alamos. I don't know. But
they managed to actually surprise me, and we're going to get to it right after a word from our sponsor. Yeah, babe, what's up?
Hey, I need a boombox.
Okay, I can go get you one.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'll go get it now. Love you.
Love you.
Great ringtone for the missus there.
Where's that boombox that I asked for?
Oh, it's right here. I got it for you.
I see nothing wrong here.
What is this?
The boombox.
No, I wanted something to play music with.
Oh, that kind of boombox. Yeah, I got this instead.
Okay, we'll go to the store and get me a boombox so I can listen to music.
Can I keep this one still?
I don't care.
Yo, well, that's awesome.
Delete Me. Okay, super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure that online data brokers are not selling your personal information online. Okay, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you use a free service on the internet and you click that little box that says I agree to the terms and conditions, you've basically just agreed to allow them to harvest as much of your personal information as humanly possible. They then turn around and sell that to online data brokers, and that's how they can afford to offer you a free service. But when you have Delete Me, they go and they monitor all of these online data brokers for your personal information.
Yeah, let that be a lesson. There's no such thing as a free service. If anything is free, you're the product. All right, that's just bottom line what's going on there. They are 100% selling all your information. So,
and then if they find it, they submit all the opt-out.
And even if they charge you, they're selling your information now. Like that's
information. So when you buy,
that's part of society, unfortunately.
Buying anything, you're just buying your way out of all the negative consequences of all the free shit that you've already gotten. And because they continue to monitor those data brokers, you're buying yourself out of all the future negative consequences of all the free shit that you haven't even gotten yet. So if you want to give Delete Me a try, there's going to be a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, Waffle House. Our story begins with the.
Wait, I'm really sorry. I need to go back. My autism hates communism. Okay, I don't know why I think that's funny.
Leave me a try. There's going to be a
link and discount
code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, Waffle House. Our story begins with a gentleman by the name of Tom Faulkner. This man graduated from law school at 23 years old, passed the bar, and immediately gets drafted in 1940 in the days leading up to World War II. Because he graduated from college, he's presented with two different options. He can A, go straight into officer training, and that's a 3-year commitment, or he can just be a normal draftee and go in as an enlisted soldier, and that is a 1-year commitment. Now you got to.
All right, I'm going to say this as someone who has served. Take the officer route. Do not go the enlisted route if you have the choice. Go the officer route. It's way cushier. You do not want to be like me.
Remember, at this point in time, like 1940, while World War II is currently going on, America's not involved yet. The attack on Pearl Harbor has not happened. And prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor, the American people did not want to go to war. Because of that, Tom Faulkner figures, hey, we're not actually going off to war. I don't want to waste 3 years of my time just being in the military, not actually, you know, fighting a war or whatever. So he chooses to be a draftee. Goes into the military as an enlisted soldier, E1 private. From there, goes off to basic training. As soon as he gets through basic training, the attack on Pearl Harbor ends up happening. America enters the war. He immediately opts to go into OCS training and commits for 3 years. After he
they let this man do OCS after starting off as enlisted? That's insane. I've actually known people with degrees that went in and, you know, for whatever reason chose the enlisted path, and they were enlisted the whole time I recall. I don't know that there was a route to hop over, but maybe just because war had just started, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay.
Completes the officer training course. He actually gets slotted to be a counterintelligence officer where he does,
that's kind of cool,
quote, a lot of top secret stuff.
You see, my identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
You can actually tell in the interviews that he gave later on in his life, like in his 70s, 80s, and 90s, that he's still not sure what he is and what he isn't allowed to talk about. But he did end up telling us that basically it was his job to try to sneak onto military bases, not as military personnel. So he would basically disguise himself as like a painter or a carpenter or whatever and try to infiltrate a U.S. military base to expose weaknesses within the system to help counteract enemy spies. So he does.
Yeah, so that's pretty badass of a job. That honestly sounds really, really cool, because that's the best way to kind of keep, you know, you have to make sure that your systems are secure, and that comes in all sorts of different ways, right? Like you have to understand that, especially when it comes to like the military or anything that's like held secret, or even businesses will do stuff like that where you know, they're supposed to try and see the flaws in their security systems just to better fortify them, right? Because especially in this day and age where technology is jumping leaps and bounds, you have to stay on top of that stuff. But I mean, we see what happens when companies don't and data gets breached and things like that. Like a lot of people, you know, they'll see like massive data breaches, and in some cases it's 100% justified, where these companies were not doing their due diligence, they weren't keeping on top of their cybersecurity, and they're just, you know, all of a sudden people's information is out there. But it is like kind of a non-stop battle when it comes to that kind of stuff, because you always have bad actors. There's always going to be bad actors trying to get a hold of sensitive information, whether that be for nefarious reasons or just because they can. And because I think that's something that we don't really register a lot in this day and age, where you have generations of people now who have grown up with technology, and people are getting better and better at using technology at a younger and younger age, and it's leading to people who are just bored and know enough about certain systems that they find ways around they find ways to use it maliciously, right? And it's not necessarily because they themselves are malicious. They might just be bored and just good enough with technology that they're just, you know, poking around and stuff. Like I do feel like they're starting to catch up. I feel like in the early days of like internet and stuff like that, you had a couple people who just knew enough about the systems, and, you know, law enforcement or powers that be always just kind of took for granted how convenient systems are, but without really looking into the, you know, I'm getting too much. I'm going on a huge rant here. I get that. This is just something that I personally am a big advocate for when it comes to, you know, cybersecurity, things of that nature, just security as a whole. But all right, I'm gonna just go back to the video.
That for a couple of years, and then one day he ends up getting orders like, hey, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, okay, for what? And they're like, don't fucking worry about it, just show up. So he shows up in Tennessee and he's given his orders, and those orders, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're essentially, hey, here's your partner. You two are gonna hop in that truck and you are gonna drive it from Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Alamos, New Mexico. You guys are gonna dress in.
Okay, I was joking about Los Alamos. That's actually kind of crazy, actually. For any of those who don't know what Los Alamos is, It was a top secret facility built for the Manhattan Project. And the thing is, like, a whole town has spawned around it, right? Los Alamos, New Mexico. There is a town there now with a massive research center where there is so much top secret stuff there. It is absolutely insane. Like, there was a part of my life where that was kind of where, hey, I would love to go work at Los Alamos or something of that nature. Never got anywhere close to that. I don't want anyone to think that that's, I was anywhere within shot of that, but I know of Los Alamos. I know of the research center, the little town around it. I've met people adjacent to Los Alamos, but that's a whole other something else. So that's kind of crazy to hear.
Plain clothes. You're not going to look at what's inside the truck. You're not going to talk about what's inside the truck. You're going to take this map and take that exact route. This route avoids every major city and every major highway. You are going to drive straight there 53 hours straight, taking turns sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping for any reason whatsoever. And he does this for the next year and a half, pretty much nonstop. And then like 20, 30 years after the fact, he finds out that he was actually hauling the majority of the enriched uranium for all of the nuclear testing and the building of nuclear weapons. Which, as we all know, brings about the end of World War II, at which point he gets out of the military, moves back home to Atlanta, Georgia, starts helping his dad out with his real estate agency. Now, he does that for about 10 years, and during this time, he ends up selling the house right next door to his to another guy by the name of Joe Rogers, and they pretty much become best friends. Joe Rogers was also an Army veteran. He was actually a pilot that flew B-24s in World War II. When Joe got back home after the war, he did not want to go off to college, so he actually just took the first job that he was offered, being a short-order cook at a now defunct restaurant chain known as Tuttle House. He worked his way up, becoming a restaurant
Why have I heard of
manager,
Tuttle
then
House?
eventually becoming a regional manager. And then one day, his neighbor and best friend, Tom Faulkner, real estate agent, always looking for the next investment, comes to him and is like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up my own restaurant. I can get the real estate deal going on that side. I just wanted to know, like, if I opened up and bought a franchise of Tuttle House, would you be willing to run it for me? Now, at this point, it's like 1954, 1955. Joe Rogers has a ton of experience inside the restaurant industry, and he basically tells his best friend, like, hey, don't open a Tuttle House. You should start your own thing. Tuttle House's business model isn't that great. If you start your own restaurant, I will help you run it. He then goes on vacation with his family, and by the time he comes back, Tom Faulkner has already bought the real estate and comes to Rogers and is like, cool, what's the business we're starting?
Where's Pancake's house?
Okay, I gotta say, that's actually kind of cool. Your buddy just leaves, he comes back, and you're like, all right, let's start. What are we doing? I don't even know what we're doing. I already took the first steps. I bought the building. Let's go.
What? We stop at Pancake's house.
Pancake's house.
And within the span of like 6 months, the very first of what is now the legendary restaurant chain of Waffle House opens. And Waffle House is legendary, probably for all the wrong reasons. I mean, even if you've never been to a Waffle House, you've heard about Waffle House because, well, I mean, Kid Rock got in a fight there. You've got Haley Booth, the viral Waffle House.
Oh, I remember about that. Yeah.
There's entire subreddits and YouTube channels almost exclusively dedicated to all the fights that break out at Waffle House.
Okay, I need to know where these Waffle Houses are, because again, I've been to Waffle House on multiple occasions and several times, very like, 1, 2, 3 a.m. and stuff, and I've never seen a fight break down. So I don't know what Waffle Houses these are. I knew of it. I remember, wasn't there a petition to like add Waffle House in Tekken? I think at one point, just because of how like notorious it is for fighting. Again, I personally have never seen it. I've been to Waffle House. Their food's pretty solid for, literally nothing else being open. So
I remember the first time I went to a Waffle House. I stretched first. I grabbed a GoPro. I was ready to be a world star. Nothing exciting happened.
Right? Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Which is probably 99% of people's experiences, because despite all of the negative PR, Waffle House makes a ton of money and has an incredible business model. Okay, Waffle House had about $1.4 billion in revenue last year, which is about $650,000 per location. And when you take into consideration that each Waffle House is absolutely tiny, that's really impressive. Out of the 2,100 tiny Waffle House locations, their yearly stats are 58 million cups of coffee, 124 million waffles, 153 million servings of hash browns, 272 million eggs, which is about 2% of all the eggs consumed
in this economy. That is a ton for eggs.
In the United States of America, and 85 million strips of bacon. Yes, I did the math. That is about 8,000 miles worth of bacon.
I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
So Waffle
Based Ron
House is obviously
Swanson.
doing something right. What exactly are they doing? Well, it all comes down to their business model and their branding. Now, with the Waffle House branding, all the negative PR about fights always breaking out at Waffle House, in a way, has actually helped them out a ton, because Waffle House, by and large, is pretty much a regional chain. It's primarily down in the South. Yet, Waffle House has become a household name pretty much everywhere in America. You could have never even seen a Waffle House, and you already know Waffle House is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and they serve breakfast. Why do you know they serve breakfast? Because their name is fucking Waffle House. I mean, look at this sign. You're driving down the road, you see that, you know everything you need to know. They sell breakfast. The end. Do that with another breakfast place. If you're not from there and you don't know what a Denny's or a Perkins or an IHOP is, you have no idea. It's just a restaurant, maybe. Waffle House, they're selling waffles, which means there's like a 99% chance they sell other breakfast food. Fucking sold.
They surprisingly they do serve dinner. I don't know how many people know that, but there is a dinner option for Waffle House. But yeah, I don't know anyone that ever orders that.
Branding is absolutely incredible, but here's the true genius of it. Why did they call it Waffle House? Why didn't they call it Breakfast House or Bacon House or Hash Brown House?
Waffle House just sounds best.
Waffles had the highest profit margin. I cannot stress enough how absolutely genius that is, right? Because you don't need to sell breakfast, all right? Everybody's already in on breakfast, okay? I could be blackout drunk at 4 in the morning, and you could ask me, hey, do you want breakfast? I'm coming up like the Undertaker every single time. And
that's such a true statement right there, because breakfast at any time of the day is a good time to eat breakfast. I will 100%. As a matter of fact, just the other day, I think we came home crazy late at night. I think it was like something like 11 o'clock at night we got home, and I just didn't want to make anything, but we had some chorizo in the fridge, and I whip out the chorizo, I cut up an onion, I throw it in with some eggs, heat up some tortillas, and I was good to go. All right, I was eating breakfast at 11 o'clock at night because I was too lazy to make anything else.
Then you go. The only thing open right now is Waffle House. Okay, I was already sold on breakfast from the get-go, but because Waffle House is where we're going, guess what I'm getting? A motherfucking waffle, and they're making more money. It makes sense that Tom Faulkner was a counterintelligence officer, because the man literally said 2 words and has already subconsciously tricked you into ordering the most expensive thing on the menu that makes him the most money. So the branding of Waffle House is both simple and brilliant, and the rest of the business model matches that to a T. Okay, all Waffle Houses are like virtually identical. They're very small. They only seat like 30 people, and you can actually see the cook making you your food. Now, at a glance, you're just like, oh, they're just going for that like 1950s drive-through type of a vibe, which they are, but there's way more to it than that. Because the restaurant is so small, the kitchen never has the opportunity to get bogged down, meaning that they're moving tables very, very quickly. So instead of having 1 kitchen and 100 customers, you've got 1 kitchen and 30 customers, and you can just turn those tables over 3 times faster, which pretty much...
That's actually kind of genius. I've never thought much about the size of a Waffle House, but yeah, they're all pretty tiny. Then again, I don't think I've never seen a Waffle House like packed. Like, I've seen it where like the majority of the tables are taken, but more often than not, at least, the times I can recall, like, there was no line for seating or nothing. That's actually kind of genius. I never put a lot of stock into how big. I always just assumed there had to be like a full size, like Denny's size Waffle House somewhere, but
guarantees that every customer is going to get exactly what they wanted. Okay, they're not going in there for 5-star dining. They're going
no, you know what you're getting. Yeah,
breakfast, and now they're going to get breakfast really quick in a small setting that doesn't feel like a packed restaurant where they have to wait in line to be seated. And I know what you're thinking. What if one Waffle House just reaches its maximum capacity, right? What if it's just completely full with a line out the door 24/7 every day of the year? Waffle House surely would build a bigger Waffle House, right? No, we're going to take the same parking lot, and right next to that first Waffle House, we're going to build a second fucking Waffle House. Okay? The plan is working, and if it's not...
Wait, what? I absolutely love that. We're not building a larger Waffle House. We're just going to build another Waffle House. That is absolutely genius. Where is this Waffle House in taking over for the 99 and the 2? Okay. Jeez. Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, but
broke, don't fix it. Which is one of those things that seems dumb, but is actually brilliant. So obviously speed
it really
key to
is
this business model, and they've done themselves a big favor with their menu because their menu is overwhelmingly simple, okay? It's literally one side of one piece of paper. Okay, the entire menu is comprised of like 10 things. They have
now hold on. There is a backside to that menu, my guy. At least the last time I had Waffle House, which was some time ago. Is it only one side now? When was this video made? Hold on. How old is this video? 11 months ago. No. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing the video, but I feel like there's a backside to this menu.
They have waffles, sausage, bacon, ham, eggs, toast, biscuits, gravy, butter, and syrup. Guess how many flavors of syrup they have? One. It's fucking syrup-flavored syrup. The entire menu is simple, exactly how it's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, they have hash browns too. Sorry, 11 things, not 10. Anyways, moving on. Another reason they do so good is they actually might be the best fast food chain when it comes to taking care of their employees. They pay them higher than average, they have super flexible schedules, and they're one of, if not the only fast food chain that
I've heard that. I've heard that they're really good to their employees.
And dental insurance. Okay, and I know.
Hold on, they offer dental? Hold on, I didn't know they were that good to them.
What you're thinking, you're like, okay, but really, how good are they actually treating the Waffle House employees? I got the one stat that's everything you need to know, okay? Waffle House treats their employees so well that employees are willing to commute into a natural disaster to work at a different Waffle House when the occasion arises. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad he's bringing this up because this is 100% true. I have lived in hurricane-prone areas, and I have seen firsthand people having to go to like the local Waffle House to try and get some food. Like I've been fortunate enough that I've never been super affected by a hurricane, but I have been very close. Like literally the street over completely flooded out, like absolutely, like just, you know, major damage to people's houses. And I think the worst I've ever personally experienced is a category 4, which is still pretty massive. But yes, this is 100% true. Waffle houses will stay open. There's this thing, I can't think of the name of it right now, where like what's it called? Hold on. He's probably gonna mention it, but it's something about where like if the Waffle House in your area is shut down, like you got to get out of there. And I've always kind of known that, like not specifically Waffle Houses, but just like, you know, when a storm is pretty bad and it's like, all right, you should probably get out. But like I've seen it on the news.
Waffle
let me just play.
Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they fucking mean it, okay? Whenever there's like a hurricane coming or some type of impending natural disaster, Waffle House organizes what they call a jump team, a bunch of Waffle House employees from a different region that's gonna be unaffected because they know that their local employees are gonna be busy taking care of their own family and their own houses during a hurricane. So they bring in teams from outside the region to work inside of a natural fucking disaster, and they're willing to do it.
Okay, so I did not know that, but that makes sense. If I'm being perfectly honest, I kind of just took them to be like Starbucks or McDonald's on a holiday, where it's just like, no, like you're not going anywhere. You're gonna sit here and work. I kind of just thought Waffle House was the same, just during storms, because they're not the only ones that stay open. Like I've seen other places like I've seen like Walmarts and stuff like that try and stay open for like during hurricanes or like right after to like provide water and stuff like that. But that's actually kind of clever that they bring in teams from other places. I did not know that.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
And you'll never have to.
Okay, McDonald's can barely get their employees to show up on a good day, and Waffle House has employees volunteering to commute into a fucking hurricane to make breakfast. And this
that's
is the most
actually kind of
part
cool.
of the business, because Waffle House has the best logistics and preparedness of any company I've ever seen ever. The only entity that beats them in logistical capacity is the United States military. Waffle House is literally ready for absolutely anything. Every single Waffle House has the playbook inside of it that details exactly how the staff is supposed to handle literally any type of emergency or situation that could possibly arise. And if for some reason the situation comes
they have a whole SOP
that isn't in that playbook, after it happens, they immediately add it to the playbook. It covers tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, a hole in the roof from a branch falling, a car driving into the restaurant. You can drive a car into Waffle House and they're still planning on staying open. The playbook even has detailed plans for every type of disaster for what the local employees, while they're not working, should go home and do to make sure that their house and their family are safe as well. Every single Waffle House has a backup generator. The stovetop, it runs on propane, and they have a bunch of extra propane
accessories.
Flashlights, candles, batteries, backup water. They have a special menu of what they're able to serve when the water is out and they're running on reserve water. When a Waffle House location is going to be in a disaster area, that Waffle House stocks up on extra food, and then all of the neighboring locations in the unaffected area also stock up and stage food there to get them more food when they need it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably more prepared than the United States military, if I'm being perfectly honest. That's absolutely insane that they're this well. How is a fast food chain? Oh, actually, I don't. Well, okay, well, I wouldn't call Waffle House, I guess, a fast food chain. They kind of are, but like a restaurant. How is a restaurant more prepared than like 90% of people? Because like, again, like I've grown up in a pretty hurricane prone area, and every single time there's people who are never ready for it. Like we see it coming, right? Like the news is there, like you know you're gonna get hit, or you know about like, hey, it's coming your way, you should be ready. And I don't know how many times like people are like not stocked up on water, they're not stocked up on food, they don't have like any kind of kit or anything like that ready to go. Like my family had a backup generator just in case, you know, power went out or anything like that. Or like we would stock up on like food or water or things of that. Like it's just like, but the amount of people that don't always surprises me. Like you'll have that one guy trying to pull into a gas station like in the middle of a hurricane when like everyone should have already been gone trying to get gas, and it's like, what are you doing, my guy? Like you did not see this coming. Like that's not to say everyone, because I know the gas stations get pretty crazy like right before a hurricane, like, you know, people trying to top off their trucks or whatever. But like, geez, Waffle House is like well oiled than like whole cities, and like the way this guy's making it sound.
Waffle House is a standing structure. Those motherfuckers are serving breakfast come hell or high water.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
Waffle House is so good at this that FEMA uses them to gauge how bad natural disasters really are.
Yes, this is what I was talking about.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency literally...
Yes, the Waffle House Index. Yes, I've seen this on the news. I swear that they've shown this on there before, where like, you know, if the Waffle House in your area is like shut down, it's too late, my guy. You need to have gone out of there already. Like, I didn't know about the limited menu, if I'm being honest with you. That's news to me. I don't think I've ever been around when they have to have a limited menu, like, but like, yeah,
uses the Waffle House Index to gauge how bad a disaster is. Okay, green, Waffle House is running as normal. Yellow,
yes, yeah, okay, so yeah, they have it on Fox News. Yes, tracking Ian. Oh, I remember Hurricane Ian.
Closed. People are probably already fucking dead by that point. Waffle House is literally the Terminator of the fast food industry. Okay, the fact that the federal government, probably the most powerful entity on the planet, maybe ever, looks at a chain of restaurants and is like, man, if Waffle House is closed, we need to mobilize the National Guard, is fucking crazy. Now, maybe you guys are thinking the same thing I was at this point in my research, and I'm like, man, I need to invest in this company. I need to see if I can open up my own Waffle House
but now that you say it,
this company's awesome. And this is where the bad news comes in. I mean, technically you can franchise a Waffle House, but most of us probably can't. The company is privately owned. It's not on the stock market. It's still owned by the families of the original 2 founders. And
okay, so see, that makes a lot of sense to me right there. That makes a ton of sense to me. The fact that it's still privately owned makes a lot of sense to where all of this is coming from, because if it was a publicly traded company, I guarantee you it would have none of this.
While they do allow franchises, they are super picky about who they let buy in to have a franchise, and they make it very, very expensive to buy in to make sure this is actually what you want. And while
also
that is unfortunate, I think it's actually kind of awesome. It's a company that actually has morals and cares about their image more than they care about next quarter's profits, okay? It's a company that has committed themselves to making breakfast under any circumstances, and they're gonna see that through till the very end, even though they could probably make way more money by just selling franchises and letting whoever the fuck throw up a Waffle House. And now for the fairy tale ending. Joe and Tom worked together as best friends for 62 years to build Waffle House into what it is today. They both passed away at the ages of 97 and 98, and now Waffle House and their legacy lives on as that company is still being operated by their kids. And that's is the
pretty
American
awesome.
dream. Get
That's
together
pretty
with
awesome.
one of your best friends, pick a goal, even if it's something as simple as serving breakfast to people, and never let anything get in between you and achieving your goal, even hurricanes and floods and natural disasters, apparently. Work with your best buddy for 62 years straight and then die together and hand it off to your kids. In conclusion, Waffle House is the most American company ever, and that's why I love it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is to buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
All right, that's actually pretty solid. That's actually, I can respect that. I can respect the 2 founders literally just started this up and said, you know what, we're just gonna make this the best company to work for, period. And then they just left it off to their families. That, I agree, that is 100% the American dream. That's actually kind of cool. This dude's merch is pretty cool too. Electrician.
Electrician.com. Quack bang out.
Brute force. But all right, that was actually
just
pretty.
2
hold on.
that dedicated their life to serving my drunk ass breakfast at 3 a.m. I'm gonna get teary-eyed next time I go to a Waffle House.
Okay, all right, that was actually pretty fun. I was not expecting such a roller coaster of a ride for Waffle House of all places. Like, I'll be the first to say I took Waffle House for granted. Jeez, all right, I didn't know that they had all that going on. I just know that they are a great place to stop by at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. That's about it. But all right. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm probably gonna be checking out more of this guy's channel, if I'm honest. Like, that was a pretty good breakdown. So yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.